What happens when the shadow war turns overt? Iran's drone and missile attack on Israel signals a major shift in the long-standing conflict between the two nations. This direct military confrontation is a first in the tumultuous history of these two Middle Eastern powers. It's a bold and unprecedented move, a testament to Iran's growing regional ambition. Iran, traditionally known for operating through proxies, is now challenging Israel directly, showcasing a newfound boldness. This audacious attack, carefully calculated to make a point, yet minimize escalation risks, is a clear indication of Iran's strategic evolution. It's a high-stakes game of chess where every move can tip the balance of power. This development is not just another news headline. It's a major inflection point that could potentially escalate the Israel-Iran conflict. Caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, Israel must balance domestic calls for strong action with risks of regional escalation and diplomatic isolation. The recent drone and missile attack by Iran marks a significant turn in the Israel-Iran conflict, pushing Israel into a strategic dilemma. The Israeli government, now facing its first direct military confrontation with Iran, is under pressure to respond. But how? A direct attack on Iran would be unprecedented and could provoke further retaliation. Yet leaving the attack unanswered is not an option for a nation that prides itself on its strong defense. The stakes are high, the risks even higher. The question of how to respond is not just a military one, but a political and diplomatic tightrope. Complicating matters further is the stance of Israel's allies. Israel relied on their support to defend against Iran's strike, but these allies, including the United States, are firmly against escalation. They want to contain the conflict, not fan its flames. This constraint puts Israel in a difficult position, as it must consider the potential loss of support in its response. At home, Israel's new hardline government faces a unique challenge. There's pressure to respond forcefully to Iran's aggression, but the public appetite for another war is limited. Some argue for using the attack as a justification for hitting Iran or even invading Gaza, but this could backfire diplomatically, causing more harm than good. Meanwhile, Gulf Arab states, keen on maintaining regional stability and protecting their oil exports, want de-escalation. They fear a wider war that could threaten their security and economic interests. Their voices add another layer to Israel's complex strategic puzzle. These factors combine to create a defining test for Israel. Its credibility as a deterrent force is on the line, but so are its foreign relations and the stability of the region. It's a true strategic dilemma, one that could shape the future of regional stability. With no good options, Israel finds itself in a difficult position that could shape the future of regional stability. The attack has set a geopolitical chess game in motion, where every move could lead to a checkmate or a stalemate. The path to escalation is fraught with peril, and not just for the main players. As the smoke clears from the initial strike, the intersecting crisis with Israel's controversial moves in Gaza and the West Bank come into sharp focus. These areas have been a thorny issue for the Middle Eastern powerhouse, garnering international attention and criticism. Now, they add a new layer of complexity to an already intricate chessboard. Israel's next move could potentially alienate its allies and further embolden its adversaries. The world watches as the tightrope between retaliation and restraint grows thinner, with the risk of a multi-front escalation looming large. To the east, the Gulf Arab states watch with bated breath. They crave stability and de-escalation, their fears for regional security amplified by the potential threat to their oil exports. They understand all too well that a wider war could be catastrophic for them. Their interests lie in a stable region, with the oil flowing and the guns silent. In this intricate game of geopolitical chess, every move matters. The potential for divisions between Israel and its allies to be exploited adds another dimension to the tense situation. The world is a stage, and all the nations are players, each with their own agenda and interests. The stakes are high, and the wrong move could send shockwaves across the region and beyond. The decisions made in the coming days and weeks will shape the future of the region and potentially the world. The choices are stark: escalate and risk a wider conflict, or exercise restraint and navigate the diplomatic minefield. The path of restraint is wiser but politically harder, while escalation is simpler but far more dangerous. The next moves will determine whether this crisis caps or spirals into an unpredictable regional conflict.